So the other night I made a mistake.
So I'm watching Teen Beach Movie for the second time in like a week.
I'm not proud of what I did.
I'm just gonna be posting about fucking Teen Beach Movie at 5 a.m. and onwards.
But today it snowballs and becomes much bigger than I ever intended it to be. Before anyone asks, yes, I bought a microphone and a tripod for this. So, as I'm sure y'all gathered from the intro and, well, the title of the video, I'm here to talk about Teen Beach Movie. So, this is my first time filming anything like this. I have a mild structure in mind, but this is going to be very unscripted. So let's just get into it. So, first things first, we're going to talk about the plot. Now, I made a list so that I would know exactly what I need to talk about without much detail, just because, like, so we're going to go through the plot. So Teen Beach Movie primarily follows two high schoolers, Brady and Mac. So these two are just vibing and hanging out on the beach. They live on the beach. And they're super close together, and they're dating, and life couldn't be happier. Everything's going fine. And then Brady finds out that Mac is moving away for high school because her very like prim and proper aunt is like, hey, that was the deal. You're going to prep school now. After this, they break up because Mac is like, oh, well, you know, I refuse to go be in a long-distance relationship with you because you're going to miss me. Which is kind of dumb because he's going to miss her regardless, so I don't really know what she's on. But whatever. We have some drama, yada, yada, yada. Now, the next day, Mac is supposed to leave, but she decides that she's got to surf these giant waves because there's a storm coming into the beach, and they're going to make monster 40-foot waves, dude. And Mac's like, I've been waiting my whole life to surf this. So she decides she's going to go out and try to make it back on time for her flight. So she goes out and she starts surfing, and it starts to get dangerous. The lifeguard's like, blows his whistle, and he's like, changes the flag to red. I don't know what that means, but I presume that means that it's bad. So Brady goes out to save her, and then they both go under the water. And when they come back up, the storm is gone. Now, I kind of don't care about Mac and Brady, which is why I'm glad that we have arrived where we have arrived. They have teleported into the world of Wet Side Story. Wet Side Story is a movie that was made back in the 60s, set in the 60s, within the world of Teen Beach Movie. It's basically West Side Story mixed with, like, Grease, and also it involves surfers and bikers instead of, like, whatever West Side Story has. I haven't seen West Side Story. And the bikers are basically greasers. This is Brady's favorite movie. His absolute favorite. He loves it. Oh, it's so good. Mac thinks it's kind of dumb. She doesn't like the whole musical thing where, like, how they sing all the time and how, oh, you go in the water and your hair's not wet, because that's not realistic. So once Mac and Brady are inside the movie, they go ahead and they meet the surfers and bikers, which brings us to our other two main characters. Now, some people might consider them supporting characters. I consider them another set of main characters. We have Layla, sister to the leader of the bikers, and Tanner, who's my favorite character. So Layla and Tanner are the leads of Wet Side Story. They fall in love. They're from opposite gangs. He's a surfer, she's a biker. I think I already mentioned that. So once Brady and Mac end up meeting the surfers and bikers, they realize that, oh shit, we can get back home if there's a storm, because we got in during a storm. So why wouldn't a storm bring us home? So they're like, oh god, how are we going to get a storm? So because it's Brady's favorite movie, and so Brady's all like, there's a storm at the end of the movie. And Mac's like, cool. And then it's nighttime, and they're going to the Big Mama's restaurant place, which is the place that all the surfers and bikers hang out for a shindig. So in actual Wet Side Story, Tanner and Layla are supposed to fall in love at the shindig. Unfortunately, Tanner falls for Mackenzie, and Layla falls for Brady. And now the movie is fucked. So now the movie's been set off course, and Brady and Mac are like, uh-oh, is there anything that might stop the storm from happening now? And Brady's like, uh-oh, yes there is, because now we're getting introduced to the bad guy, who I always forget the name of. Let me just... Les Camembert. It's L-E-S, like Les, like the French word, but they say Les, so I'm just going to call him Les Camembert. In fact, I'm probably just going to call him Bad Guy. So Bad Guy is working with Dr. Fusion, and Bad Guy wants to get rid of the surfers and bikers by building this weather machine that will get rid of the surf and rust all of the bikers' bikes so that he can buy Big Mama's, the restaurant the surfers and bikers are fighting over, and turn it into a giant resort and make a bunch of money. So after confirming that the villains are working on their big evil plan, Brady and Mac are like, okay, we gotta get Layla and Tanner back together. And that's, you know, a good portion of the rest of the next big chunk of the movie. It's Brady and Mac going, hey, at Layla/Tanner. Doesn't Layla/Tanner look really cool? And aren't they, like, cool? You should talk to them. During this whole thing where they're trying to get Layla and Tanner together, Mackenzie talks to Layla and is like, hey, Layla, you know, that you can do anything that a boy can. And don't do everything just for the sake of, like, oh, don't dress up for, like, what boys want. Dress up for you and stuff like that. In my notes I wrote down, and I quote, Max starts to commit feminism on Layla. In addition to this, things from the real world that were brought into the movie, like Mackenzie's wetsuit, start to just fade and, like, out of existence and stop existing. And Mac and Brady start to become more like the movie. At one point, Mac falls into the water and her hair doesn't get wet. It stays completely dry. And they break into a musical number. And it's like, whoa, they're turning into the movie. After this, they get captured. Layla and Tanner fall for each other. Then they defeat Les Camembert and Dr. Fusion, destroy the weather machine. There's a storm. Mac and Brady go home. Layla gives Mac this little necklace. You can't really see it. It's cut off. Plus, like, okay. Layla gives Mac her necklace. These two go home. And Mac is like, hey, Aunt, I don't want to go to prep school. And Mac's aunt goes, okay. And then the movie ends. Now, that very well may not have been the greatest summary of a movie plot, but I am going to poke a few little holes in some points. So, let's go through them. Number one. Why am I numbering these? Number one, when Mac and Brady break up, like before they go into the movie, Mac is like, hey, Brady, we have to break up because we can't do a long-distance relationship because I know what it's like to miss somebody, which is two flaws. The second big thing is that she says that she knows what it's like to miss somebody. Now, I didn't mention this before, but Mac's mom is dead. Her mom died. And for whatever reason, the writers went, let's have Mac compare missing her dead mother to the fact that Brady would miss Mac if she went off to prep school and they didn't break up. 2, since I'm doing a numbered list now, I guess. Relatively early on, when Mac and Brady go into Wet Side Story, Brady just hops into a musical number,
Went to the drive-in, what did I see? 100 little baddies,
which I think works really well for his character. But he kind of he's like the lead singer for a large portion of that song, Cruisin' for a Bruisin'. And I don't understand, like, how that works in the context of the movie. Like, clearly, that part was supposed to be sung by another biker. But for whatever reason, Brady just completely took that biker's spot and is, like, leading some of the choreography and is leading the music. And I don't understand it. Like, what are the rules of this universe? I really want to know. I really want to know the fucking rules of this universe. I want to know them so bad. And all Teen Beach Movie gives me is more questions. The third thing I don't really get about the plot, and this is the final one, and probably the biggest one, is that I don't really understand why Mac and Brady have to get Layla and Tanner back together, like in the context of the movie. Because couldn't they just be like, hey Layla, hey Tanner, come to this man's secret hideout and see about this villainy that's going on right now. And they'll be like, oh, golly gee, we need to work together and take him down. So I don't know why they just don't do that. It's pretty clear that they can change the movie without consequences. I mean, other than, like, minor ones, like, oh, there was a dance battle that was supposed to happen on the night where when they normally fall in love with each other and fell in love with them instead. But that didn't, like, have, like, a super negative impact on the movie. Like everything was still progressing like it normally would in, like, the context of now these two are with these two instead of with each other. I just don't get it. Like, I do get it. I know that's just because otherwise where would the plot have been? And I'm okay with it. I'm just nitpicking a little bit. Oh, right, yeah. When Layla and Tanner fall for each other, finally, suddenly they go and they rally the surfers and bikers and they stop the evil scheme, right? How did they find out about the evil scheme? Like, did the movie just suddenly, like, go back on track and now it's like, oh, wow, now we know this information. Let's go save Mac and Brady. Like, they didn't have a single interaction with either of the villains for the entire movie. So we don't really have context of when they met the villains, unless they met them, like, before the movie starts, which... weird. And even then, again, we have no idea how they even know Mac and Brady got captured. There is this part of the scene where they discover this, like, flower crown that Tanner made for Mac, but it fell off for, like, a completely unrelated reason to them getting captured. So I don't understand why that's an indication that they got captured. Now, there is one more plot thing that I want to talk about, and it's not even a nitpick or anything. I just want to talk about the sequel setup at the end. So I'm opening this because I forget the names of all the characters, but at the end of the there's a post-credit sequence. So at the end of the credits, we see 6 of the characters in the movie come out into the real world, and it's, like, supposed to be sequel setup, but they don't even follow in the same way. And it's Layla and Tanner, obviously, and then 4 characters that I actually did not mention yet because they're very minor characters and they don't add much to the plot, but I will be talking about them later. Butchie, Sea-Cat, Giggles, and Struts. So now I'm going to talk about the music.
On my way, feeling fine. Can see my reflection in my surfboard shine.
This is the part I'm the most excited to talk about because I really, really like the music. Like, a lot. The music in this movie is fantastic. So I actually ranked all the songs. We're going to go down them in ranking order, and then I'm going to talk about the songs that I didn't rank, because I didn't rank a few of them, and I'll explain why once I get to them. So my absolute favorite song in this movie is Cruisin' for a Bruisin', which is that song that I talked about earlier that Brady kind of hops in and just kind of takes over a part of. It slaps so hard. Like, it is so good. I vibe so hard to that song. It's such a good musical number. And, like, the choreography is fun. It's very upbeat, and it gives really good energy, and I fucking love it. So my second favorite song in the movie is Can't Stop Singing, which is a song that Mac and Brady sing towards the tail end of the movie, and it's basically just a song about how they want to stop singing and not be in the and not be doing, like, this musical number. At least Mac doesn't, because Brady fucking loves it. Because, you know, he loves West Side Story. It's his favorite movie. Did I mention that? I might not have. The whole number is just, like, silly and fun, and it's really amusing, and it's very meta, and I really love every aspect of it. I think it's super great. In addition, weirdly enough, this song has been on TikTok a lot, which was not something I expected. I started using TikTok recently, like, just in general. And I was really, really surprised when that came up. Because it's kind of a popular song on there. Like, not, like, crazy popular, but, like, I hear it, like, often enough. Number 3 on my song list is Like Me. Like Me is a little bit repetitive, but still really fun and upbeat, and it's just, like, very appealing and cute, and I really like it. It's just a fun song. I don't really have much else to say about it. But it's good. So number 4 on my list is Falling For Ya. I'm so fun. It's Falling For Ya. Falling For Ya is the song that Layla is singing when Layla and Tanner first fall in love in the movie, like in regular West Side Story. This song would be higher, but I did find it a little bit annoying how they kept cutting back to a discussion between Mac and Brady during it. It did bring the song down, like, from 3rd to 4th for me. And that's just because I don't really care about Mac and Brady. Number 5 on my list is Meant to Be. It's a pretty, like, general, like, just like, haha, we're falling in love song. except like the twist is that like Mac and Brady for the entire song are trying to get Layla and Tanner to fall for each other and trying to get them to notice each other, but they're unable to for the whole time, which makes it really, really fun. I just don't think it's like as strong a song as the other ones, which is why it's ranked number 5. And I don't really have anything else to say on that. So, number 6 is Surf Crazy. Surf Crazy is alright. It's kind of generic. It's just like a general, like, haha, we love surfing and being on the beach, haha! And it's supposed to be like your general like introduction, like opening number to Wet Side Story. So I understand why it's a little bit more generic and like all-encompassing of like everyone, or at least all the surfers. But it's a little bit boring because of that. I think the choreography is really fun though. And then number 7, which is the bottom of my list, is Surf's Up, which is the final song before the credits. And I just think it's kind of boring. It's alright. I've heard worse songs, but it just kind of bored me. Like it didn't engage me like the rest of the movie did. Like so many other songs in the movie did. So there are 4 songs that I actually didn't rank, and I'm just going to quickly go through what they are and why I didn't rank them. So the first 2 are the reprise of Meant to Be. There's 2 of them. They don't change any of the lyrics. They're just sung at different points, and I think they're both shorter than the original song. And so they would just get ranked with Meant to Be. So I didn't see a point in putting them on there. Another song that I didn't put on there is Oxygen, which is sung by Mia Mitchell, who is the person who plays Mackenzie, Mac. So the reason that I didn't rank that song is because, honestly, I forgot it was in the movie. And I didn't add it to my rankings after realizing it because it's just a generic-y sounding pop song about, like, summer and the beach and surfing. And I don't know, it didn't add anything to the movie for me, so I didn't feel like ranking it. I don't think it's, like, a bad song or anything, but the last song on the soundtrack that I didn't rank was Coolest Cats in Town, which I actually like, but it was cut from the movie, and its only inclusion within the movie was during part of the credits, where not even the full song plays to my knowledge, unless, like, I'm misremembering, which is very possible. And yeah, so it didn't get ranked, but I do really like the song, and I think it's good. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the characters.
I'm Tanner, C-Cat,
And I'm not going to touch on every single character in this movie, but I'm going to talk about all the characters that are actually legitimately important to the story, or I care about. So if I don't think that they're important to the story, or I don't care about them, I'm not going to talk about them. And some of these characters are only going to get like quick little mentions. So let's go down the list. First off, we have Brady, who is played by Ross Lynch. Brady is an enjoyable character, you know. I'm gonna move over slightly. I feel like moving over slightly. Brady's an okay character. He's fun. I enjoy when he's on screen. I like his energy. Unfortunately, and he has like no character development, and this is actually because of the fact that apparently Brady's part was a lot smaller originally. But then when Ross Lynch got the part, they decided to write more for Brady. I don't really have much else to say about him because honestly, I don't really care about him that much. Like, he's just like an enjoyable character that's there, but like, if he wasn't here, I'd be okay with it. Next up is Mackenzie, who is played by Mia Mitchell. I don't care about Mackenzie. And I'm sorry that I don't care about Mackenzie. I don't watch the movie for Mackenzie. My favorite thing about Mackenzie is when she's all meta and like complaining about having to sing a song in a musical while she's singing a song in a musical. She gets a character arc, which is, you know, better than Brady, because he doesn't. And Mac's whole thing is that, you know, she's going to go off to prep school because her mom died, and now her aunt's sending her to prep school because before her mom died, her mom was like, I want you to be successful. And this is how she's taking, like, the be successful thing instead of doing what she wants to do. And the whole movie, she's, like, telling Layla, oh, but you shouldn't, but you should do what you want to do. Don't let societal standards stop you and stuff like that. Follow your heart. Which then makes her realize that she doesn't want to go to prep school and that she should follow her heart and not go to prep school, which she doesn't. Next up, Layla, played by Grace Phipps, I believe is what her name is credited as within Teen Beach Movie's credits. However, according to Google, she is also professionally known as Grace Gillum, so either or. So Layla's my second favorite character, but I don't really have much to say on her because honestly she doesn't do like a whole lot in this movie. She falls for Brady and then she falls for Tanner and she's also getting like a little bit of feminism sprinkled in from Mac. I put feminism lightly because the feminism in this movie is very like bare bones basic feminism, but it does get points for putting some in because it's more than I thought a Disney Channel original movie would have. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say on her, but I do really like her character. Next up is my boy Tanner. Fix this picture. I really should have put some tape on the ends here. Oh well. Tanner is my favorite character. I love Tanner. I think he's fucking amazing. Tanner single-handedly brings this movie like from all right to really good for me. He's hilarious. He's entertaining. He's a himbo. I really like himbos. One of my favorite character archetypes is himbo, and he really fits that label. Plus, he exudes an incredibly large amount of gay energy, and I just really appreciate that. So some other characters that we're going to quickly go down that I didn't mention before are some of the other surfers and bikers. So we have Seacat, who's played by Jordan Fisher. Unfortunately, they didn't give him a lot to do in this movie. The most memorable thing he really gets in this movie is like he makes an Angry Birds joke, which is like just the movie being like, "Oh, I'm trying to shoot this slingshot at an angry bird," and then Brady's like, "Haha, Angry Birds," because like the app. This movie was made in 2013, and sometimes you can feel that. On top of that, according to the Teen Beach Movie Wiki, which I have perused quite a bit recently, Tanner is the leader of the surfers, but honestly, it really feels like Seacat kind of takes like a leadership role there, since like Tanner is like busy falling in love with Layla and isn't like that against the bikers. So, at least to me, he's like basically the leader of the surfers. Next up is Butchie. Butchie is played by John DeLuca. Butchie is the leader of the bikers, Layla's older brother. He doesn't, like, do a lot in this movie. He, like, drives in on a bike into Big Mama's, which, by the way, can we just talk about that? He drives his bike into Big Mama's near the beginning of the movie. Why does Big Mama let him do that? Why does she let somebody bring a full-ass fucking motorcycle in? Like, that can't be good. Like, the exhaust fumes going into the... Like, who wants that? And, later on, another biker who I don't care about, so I'm not even gonna double check what their name is, mentions that they popped their first wheelie in the restaurant. And it's like, is this a normal thing? Does Big Mama just let them bring their motorcycles and drive them around her small little, like, beach restaurant shack thing? Big Mama, what are you doing? So like I was saying, Butchie is the leader of the bikers. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on him, other than the fact that I think he's bi, and I'm going to get into that later. Next up is Chi Chi, played by Chrissy Fit. I don't have a lot to say about her, but I like her hair, and I like her, like, really over-the-top laugh. I think it's entertaining. After that, we have Giggles. Giggles is one of the surfers. Giggles' entire thing is that she just, like, shakes her body. Like, she just is shaking her body all the time. Like, almost every time she is on screen, she is shaking her body, unless she's, like, in a dance number, in which case, like, she's doing the choreography. I think the reason I think Giggles is great, because I think Giggles is great, is the scene where they're all trashing the villain's hideout. So, one of my favorite things about Giggles is the fact that during the scene where they're all, like, where they're trashing the villain's hideout, the villain is being chased by, like, a group of the bikers and surfers, and he runs into Giggles, and she just shakes her body at him, and he fucking runs, like he's like scared of that. And I think that's really funny. The last two characters I'm going to talk about are Le Camembert, who is played by Steve Valentine, and Dr. Fusion, who's played by Kevin Chamberlain. I don't have a lot to say on Les Camembert, except for the fact that I think it's funny that they decided he's from Pittsburgh, but he just does this like posh British accent, like to like seem like he's like posh and like better and above everyone else. I think that's entertaining, and I think he played the role well. I enjoyed when he was on screen. Dr. Fusion was a lot more entertaining. I think out of the two villains, he was a lot more fun to watch. In addition to this, at one point, when Mac and Brady are captured, they tell Dr. Fusion that he's in a movie, and he just accepts it. Like, he's just like, yeah, okay, I'm in a movie? Fucking wild, right? And I don't understand why he accepts it so fast, but I think it's really funny that he does. And then later on, when they're defeated, they're just, like, on this piece of driftwood, and he just tells Les Camembert that they're in a movie, and Les Camembert is like, really? Tell me more, I'm intrigued. And it's really weird to me how accepting these two are of it, and I think it's entertaining. Alright, so I'm just going to end this with some random thoughts on the movie, some random facts, and my ships, which is what we're going to start with. If you had told me that I was going to watch Teen Beach Movie in 2020 and come out of the movie shipping some of the characters, I wouldn't believe you. I don't like any of the established relationships in this movie. Here is my proposed ships for this movie. First off, I think Layla should have been with Brady. I think they're good together, I think they're cute together, and I don't think Mac and Brady are compatible for a long-term thing, because I just don't. Also, I don't care about them that much, and I feel like Brady being with Layla would make me care about him more. Now, that ship I don't have a lot of stakes in. The one I do, I believe that Tanner Teen Beach Movie should be with Butchie Teen Beach Movie. They would be perfect together. Tell me this movie wouldn't be better if it wasn't the leader of the bikers and the leader of the surfers being gay for each other. Because that would be wrong. Hashtag Brayla, hashtag banner, hashtag let's move on before I embarrass myself further. In preparation for this video, I was actually looking at the Teen Beach Movie wiki. I found out a lot of little things. I also think the wiki is just really funny. Like some of the comments that are on there, I'll just put some on screen that I thought were really, really funny. One thing that I learned through the Teen Beach Wiki and just some general Googling is that Garrett Clayton actually didn't sing his parts for a lot of the songs. And I found out the reason for this because I actually watched a video of Garrett Clayton and someone else who I believe was the voice actress for Kim Possible watch Teen Beach Movie and just talk about it. And he says that the reason is because he got thrown into the shooting after like a shit ton of auditions, and they had already recorded like so much of the music that he just didn't get to be in it. And he also isn't credited on some of the songs that he actually does sing for part of. The last random trivia bit that I really want to talk about, because I think it's really interesting and funny, is the fact that Teen Beach Movie had a Club Penguin crossover in August of 2013. August 22nd, Club Penguin hosted this big like party event thing that was Teen Beach Movie themed, and there's like characters designed as the penguins. Like there's official art of that, and there were like outfits that you could buy for the characters, and I think that's just really weird and funky and really funny. Like, it was the last thing I thought I was going to find when I was looking into Teen Beach Movie, like, facts and stuff like that, and just, like, looking into information about the movie before I made this video. So, my closing thoughts on Teen Beach Movie is that it's a really fun movie. The music is really good. As much as I, like, kind of talked, like, critically of the plot and stuff like that, and I didn't even talk that critically of the plot, but I kind of, like, didn't like, praise it and all that much. I feel like it deserves a lot more praise than I gave it. The movie's really fun, it's entertaining, it's engaging, for the most part. I do think that the first 15-20 minutes and the last 15-20 minutes are kind of weak, and the movie really shines, like, in the middle. But it's a really fun movie, the music is fantastic. Like, for a Disney Channel original movie, this really, really impressed me. And I highly recommend watching it. If you have Disney Plus, it is available on there to watch, so... Yeah, I honestly, if you like musicals, I can't recommend this movie enough. It's just really fun. So that was my video on Teen Beach Movie. If you enjoyed, why not consider hitting the like button? It lets me know that I wasn't the only one to get some level of enjoyment out of making this, or, you know, at the very least consuming it. On top of that, if you found me as a person entertaining, my Twitter is in the description as well, so you can go follow that if you want some lame tweets every few days. And lastly, I would like to thank everyone who has watched this and made it this far in it. It really is weird to me that people are going to watch this, even if a large number of them are just going to be my friends. Yeah, so thank you all, and I will see you when I make a video on Teen Beach 2.